Hey guys, GWS here. Sadly, we gotta do another political video, don't we? This time we're gonna be packing some more bullshit. Excuse the pun. So this is a video David Pakman did, today. I believe this is even from a couple days ago, if I'm reading the comments right. Um, there's not a lot I can say about this video because, well, let me leave mine there. Those dislikes should give you some indication of what's going on. I just like to thank the commenters for standing up to David Pakman on this specific issue. I only wish a lot more would have stood up for Trump when he was talking about illegals coming up from down south, bringing drugs, crime, rapists, some are good people, that quote. But okay, that's fine. Now, this in itself wouldn't really make a video, but this just goes back to just the laziness of left-wingers, particularly left-wing media. Right-wingers do it too, but a lot of right-winger stuff is like knowingly playing ignorant with things. But this is not the first time we've seen a leftist leave stuff out because they're trusting the mainstream media. So, just a couple other things that I can point out is that Kyle Kalinske, secular bullshit himself, has reported multiple ones of these stories, like the time when about a year ago they were reporting that Trump was going to tell states to use the National Guard to deport illegal immigrants. That story had absolutely no truth to it. Nothing even got to Trump about it. And then you add the time when Kyle Kalinske was talking about how women were deported for how they were dressing when they were violating American Airlines dress code. And that was a horrible smear. And of course, naturally, we get no retractions about it. That's not, of course, including all the other stuff, many of which I've done videos about, where it's just facts are left out, context is left out, everything gets left out. This is the laziness that we're dealing with the left wing here. Did I turn this on? Oh, yeah, I did. That's the laziness. And now we got David Pakman here. I'm not even going to play the video, His commentary, it's just, like, you listen to David Pakman. David Pakman, perhaps 2-3 years ago, was maybe slightly more nuanced. Now he acts like a petulant child on Reddit. It's just it's getting insane with him. Like, he's using basically Reddit forum poster language. You know, even talking about, like, using quote our orange leader to refer to Trump. Now, think about this. Like, David Pakman, if you look at his videos, Mr. Bullshit Packer, Mr. Makeup Man here, is trying to post like logic videos, telling people how to use logic, and he's going to be doing a pseudoscience series, I suppose. Lord knows what he's going to say pseudoscience is. But David Pakman is not a credible voice in this field. Like, you can't go around calling somebody, quote, orange leader, and then say, oh, I'm arguing from logic. No, you have no credibility. And what this is an attempt to smear Trump. Because, like, basically, this video was Trump calling people animals They aren't people, they're animals, as the clickbait says. But what he's talking about is a gang called MS-13, a gang that sells like killer meth, like these hyper concentrated batches of methamphetamine. Um, People who are raping white people or people of other races. Actually, to be honest, the Hispanic black rivalries are bigger than any other rivalries, even bigger than the black versus white rivalries of the 1980s. You know, when you had the Bloods and the Crips, and then you had them um, patrolling the streets, and then you had racial tension there. But this is a whole nother level. This is MS-13 makes the Bloods and the Crips look tame. They make them look like um, the Pope, for lack of a better example. It's and those are animals. And let me be clear about that. If you join MS-13 and you participate in those activities, you go around killing innocent people, and you go around like stabbing or shooting somebody because they're black, you're an animal. Period. An animal who belongs in a cage. That kind of animal. So Trump is right about that. But see, they leave out the MS-13 part and they just say, like they, I could actually show you where he cuts it off. Like, let's play this. Like, we're not going to listen to your Argentinian voice there. So let's.
I cannot tell ICE about them. We have people coming into the country or trying to come in. We're stopping a lot of them. But we're taking people out of the country. You wouldn't believe how bad these people are. These aren't people. These are animals. And we're taking them out of the country at a level and at a rate that's never happened before. And because of the weak laws,
listen to him laughing. See how juvenile?
We get them, we release them, we get them again, we bring them out.
So not only is this disgusting, it's also not true. Number one, remember that deportations are down under Trump relative.
Yeah, see, it's immaturity from Packman, from Kalinsky, from I don't watch I haven't watched that freaking channel in like 6 months to a year. But I'm sure Humanist Report is like that. He was like that the last time I watched him. It's just like, and here's the thing. I think I've said this before, but I'm gonna say I voted for Obama, and I voted, you know, under the right conditions, I'll vote for Democrats. But I can't do this anymore. I can't vote for this. I cannot vote for people who are going to lie and take people out of context. Um, who are just out there to spite Trump any way they can. You have David Packman praising Obama, praising George W. Bush. George W. Bush, an inhumane war criminal who got us involved in these wars that completely destabilized the Middle East, that caused lots of horrific attacks around the world, and contributed. Bush and Obama both contributed to the rise of ISIS. ISIS was formed or gained more power under Bush, but it exploded under Obama. And they're praising him, Mr. Patriot Act himself, Bush, Mr. Suspension of Habeas Corpus, George Bush, Mr. Indefinite Detention, George Bush. Even John McCain. John McCain said he would be willing to keep troops in Iraq for 100 years. That John McCain. That gets praised. Like anything to spite Trump. Like, the left wing, geez, I'm going way off on a tangent, but hell, I have to. The left wing is willing to sell their souls to spite Trump. All their principle is gone just to spite him. Trump's not perfect. There's a lot of things I can disagree with about Trump. There's a lot of problematic statements. I think his attitude is problematic in a lot of areas. And I think most Trump supporters, a lot of them anyhow, will say the same thing. He's not a perfect president. Just because you approve of somebody's overall job does not mean that they're going to agree with them on everything. Like, I'm not going to sell my soul. Like, you know, I approve of Trump, but I'll be damned if I'll be with him on the flag burning issue. I'll be damned if I'm with him on that. You know, and I'll be damned if I'm with him on Middle East policy, because I'm not. And he promised he would get us out of there, and he's lied. Just call it what it is. But am I gonna, do I hate everything about him? No. Like, I believe I've given him a grade, and I believe I gave him like a B plus. B plus, A minus, something like that is what I gave him. I have a video on that somewhere where I gave him a grade. Right now it's about a B plus presidency. Solid, but can be better. But this is like I said, anything, sacrifice anything. I guarantee you that if Trump went up there right now and proposed single-payer health care, what are they going to say? Trump wants to cripple the U.S. healthcare system. Or Trump wants to take control of your health care. You know they're going to spin it. And this is why, I think the midterms are more important than ever. Because, yeah, you had Republicans win in 2014. You had them win in 2016. But see, here's the thing, is, they don't feel like they have a mandate. They don't feel like they have a mandate to become more moderate, to become more connected to the realities of the American people. And so they're trying to push their agenda on top of the people. And this is going to be big. Because everything's going to depend on how these midterms go. If it stays the same, it's probably going to be about the same kind of rhetoric. And then maybe we'll be shoving that big question onto the 2020 presidency. But, a lot of it is going to depend on those midterms. Like, are the Republicans going to gain nothing? Because, you're still going to have, the one from Maine and Murkowski from Alaska, and then there's a couple other Republicans that are pro-liberal in certain aspects. You still have a couple of those rhinos, and then of course you have Rand Paul, John McCain, who are just going to do whatever they want, And shout out to Rand Paul, because I think I would like him to be president, but that's for another video entirely. That's for another time. The point is that, it's not going to take talk anymore for the leftists. In order to force them to use realistic, to align themselves with the American people again, it's going to take a mandate. And that's going to have to come from the midterms. Like, we have to turn out. And I am going to turn out because this is probably going to be the first primary I ever vote in. I didn't vote for anybody in last primaries. I never voted in any primary because there's never really been a huge reason to care about politics until now, when the people have the chance to take the country back. And it's like, it's a struggle, it's a fight. It's a fight on multiple fronts, but yeah, you better believe I'm voting because this is like all the laziness, all the misrepresenting, like, and then they're gonna try to get their people in, and then all of it's gonna become even more of a habit to do these very things, and then, we're going to have an authoritarian government shoved upon us. The same type that is in the United Kingdom. But anyhow, I just figured I would shout off about these topics, about liberal laziness, about just how they got to get their facts in order. All the media does, really. It's not just liberals, but it's like we have to get real news again. I don't care who it comes from, where it comes from, but we need a credible, central, neutral information providing news service again that is not going to spin, but that's just going to provide us news. Tell us about the events, tell us about the potential implications of events from both sides. If you have to implicate a political position, indicate both sides and report from a neutral perspective. And don't and when you report, don't use framing as a form of bias. Don't use framing as a form of bias. Just report on the major issues as decided by the top authorities. Thanks for listening, guys. God bless.